Is now in session, October 11th, is now in session. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. First item on the agenda is 39 South William Street. That's PB 23-46. Please step up and sign in, please.
Sign in.
Yeah, please sign in.
What's your names?
It's Jenny Zuniga Casal.
Oh, you're gonna have to spell that for me.
How do you spell it?
Jenny is Jenny. Zuniga is with Z of zebra. Uniga. Casal Casal.
And your name, sir?
Edward O'Hara.
No.
That was an easy one.
What's your relationship to the project?
I own it.
Okay.
And you're the architect.
You are the architect. Sounds good. And
Okay, could you please explain your project for us?
Yes, a really simple project is located in CS area. And then what we propose is a building 2 stories that first floor has 16 feet high. So we comply with the high elevations according to the bull zoning or the zoning book. And then we propose in the first floor a retail space, and then the second
I'm sorry,
floor office.
close in the lot, just talk louder.
Yeah, and the first floor retail space. Retail, yes, because can be anything, right? It's just retail in general, and the second floor offices. It can be, it's an investment property, and then can be in the first floor, mini market, anything that according to the regulations, what is allowed to do there. And then in the second floor offices, or can be a business combined. The street is residential street. Is 60 feet width. Is low traffic right now, and that area is CS, is commercial. It's allowed to do what we are proposing.
Do you have a copy of the consultant's reports?
Here they are, right here.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, let me go through them. Okay, project review has no additional comments. The Office of Building Zoning Planning, Jane Sladen, October 5th. She has 11 items. I'll take back the 12 items. No,
Yes, it's okay, Brucey has
It
12.
right?
I don't know,
Yeah,
looks like, yeah,
The first
his
page.
letter's just out of order.
Yes.
Yeah, this is, yeah.
Not that one, but I'm gonna have it.
She didn't double side it this far.
Yeah.
I have Department of Environmental Management and Engineering briefing, October 6th. He has 12 items. Okay, now this is where we have a problem. This is Booker Engineering, October 3rd. His drainage review recommendation says the applicant has not provided significant information to demonstrate that potential significant impacts with respect to drainage can be mitigated. We therefore recommend that 39 South William Street site plan not be approved for drainage at this time, and he has 11 comments. That's our biggest problem, is the drainage. Yeah, I'm getting that. So, okay.
Yeah.
So, that's the problem. We also have the short, There's several, first of all, Booker Engineering, their engineers, and they're saying that right now, the way you design this, or the way you're planning to build this, that the drainage is no good. So you're gonna have to, like I said, he's got 11 comments. You're gonna have to deal with him, straighten his 11 comments out to satisfy what you wanna do, so between the two of you. If you don't have a copy of this, I'll read a copy.
Yeah, could I see
That's in the package that was just given to you?
Oh, it should be in there.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
number 10 of my
On
letter
you?
is critical
Okay.
to, which,
I will read that in.
You know, I
Yeah.
think they don't have the first page. I don't have it either.
okay, well,
But
Oh, wait,
it's not
oh, I'm
the
sorry, they
same.
don't have the first page of Brooker. I mean,
You take that copy. I'll give
yeah,
you
just
that-
to
that-
Bruce,
that-
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
have the
he-
second
he-
page. Wait, have it?
He gave it double-sided, I bet you.
Yeah, there you go, this is, this one.
So-
Yeah, Brooker, yeah.
You're gonna have to satisfy those comments in respect to Booker and with respect to drainage. Because we can't go any further until we know that the drainage is correct, because you might wind up changing the whole building around to satisfy drainage. That's why we can't go any further with it.
Well, and based on my,
Well, I'm gonna come to you in a second.
the site design is going to have to
That's,
change
that's what we,
significantly.
now also, with Jane Slavin's October 5th letter,
That's the first one, also building, zoning, plan,
yeah,
second page.
Yeah,
what'd you say, Jane, 9 and 10?
That's correct.
Okay.
Next page on that one. Yeah, that's it.
The next page.
Second page,
The second page,
Okay, yeah, number 9.
items
Yeah.
9 and 10.
yeah,
You're gonna have to satisfy those also.
That's not,
that's what I explained to you.
yeah.
yes, please.
So,
I am,
about the, well, you can't back out onto a roadway, like the way that's proposed, you can't back straight out. It's not permitted by our code, so I quoted the sections of the code,
yeah,
okay, so that will not be able to be approved that way, it's too dangerous. So 9, I quoted the 2 sections that outline what's required for your parking layout,
all right,
okay? And then, based on this layout right now, there'd be a significant requirement, for a variance for the number of parking spaces.
okay,
Okay, but also with Bruce's comments, which was reviewed at PRC, it's very difficult to build a building right on the property line, because then you have to disturb the other property owners. You have to get permission, or easements, or anything like that to do the work in order to dig the foundations. All right, so Bruce, that's one of the things that Bruce, he was the town engineer at the end of PRC,
Yeah.
noted to look at pulling the building, making it thinner, and maybe situating it a little differently on the site, because the parking doesn't work either. So those are 2 significant, design elements that have to be considered even before you try to address the drainage issues.
yeah, the intention of that was like if that is gonna be retail, and then, you know, when it's a retail, there is always a car that is not permanent parking. It's
Right,
just,
but it's not permitted by our town code. It
okay,
will not be allowed to be back. Anything that you see right now that backs out onto a public roadway has been there for a very, very long time, so they're not required to change it. But any new applications are not permitted to do that
all right.
for life safety issues.
What mean is, it's gonna be a parallel parking on the street.
That's up to you guys to figure out how to achieve that, your parking requirements.
All right.
We're not here to design your building, we're just here to make sure that your design conforms to code.
All right, yes, the engineer, the custom engineer is supposed to be over that design is. And he did something about the drainage system.
Yeah, so Hudson Engineer is gonna design the drain, I have him working on this right now.
I'm here now.
Okay, please.
Sorry, I was all over the
Yeah, please, sit here.
Sign as you
Stay here, he's gonna pull up a chair, sit down.
All right,
What's your name, sir?
Dan Collins, Hudson Engineer.
Dan Collins?
Yep.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, since the engineer's here. Dan, I don't know if you heard everything that I was just saying about how, as proposed, the design doesn't work.
With the parking and
And
backing out into the street.
And the actual ability to build a building that's right on the property line.
So that they changed, because if it's not, even if it's a side street, it doesn't matter?
It
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Okay,
I quoted the town codes in my letter.
okay.
So even before you have to address the drainage issues, you really have to address the site layout issues. Because right now, as proposed, this building cannot be built, even if you test drain it.
Drainage, I'm not even worried about that, that I can figure
So-
out, because I'm always.
I wouldn't want you to like keep spinning your wheels on drainage
Mhm.
and not be able to get past the
Right.
actual site restraints in relationship to zoning regulations.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, let me go through, I have a few more, items to read into the record.
Do you have it? The other comments?
Yeah.
We were going to.
The next would be fire prevention.
Okay, one.
Yep, that's the next letter, sir, fire prevention.
Yeah, okay. I have a letter from the Bureau of Fire Prevention, County of Orangetown, September
Yeah, I'm not-
26th. Okay, and he has a total of 4 comments. I have a letter from Rockland County Sewer District Number 1, dated September 25th. They have 2 comments. I have a letter from Alfred Gaddy, Orange and Rockland, dated August 31. So based on our maps, there is no gas service currently feeding that property. Please contact O&R's new business department for any new services. All code 753 rules must be followed. I have a letter from Rockland County Health Department dated September 8th, consenting the town of Orangetown Planning Board Service Lead Agent. Another letter from Orangetown Zoning Board, September 20th, consenting town of Orangetown Planning Board Service Lead Agent. I have a letter from Rockland County Highway Department, September 20th, consenting town of Orangetown Planning Board Service Lead Agent. I have a letter from Rockland County Health Department dated September 8th, no comments at this time. I have a letter from Viola, is it Viola?
Yeah, the only,
Dated September 13th, no further correspondence for the site shall be sent. A letter from Orangetown ZBA, September 20th, no comments at this time. I have a letter from Rockland County Highway Department, September 20th, this project is outside our jurisdiction. Is that it, Jane? Anything else?
that's it, that's all we have.
Thank you very much.
Here we go. Right.
Awesome. Thank you.
You have any questions, comments?
Yeah, the questions, some comments. Going back to Jane's letter, number 4, we have it listed as commercial building and on the plans it's retail.
Where is
You're gonna correct that?
I generalized this as commercial on our plans, because it was a mixed residential office space, but if it be, I would have to change our
Retail,
plans.
has to be retail.
Yeah, I would have to change ours to be.
But at PRC, Mr. Howard stated that
Yeah,
it was
so,
gonna be a construction type
yeah.
business?
My use of it was gonna be storage on the ground floor, and on the top floor, I was gonna use it for my office.
So that needs to
Then
be
I'll-
clear, when you
yeah.
return, that needs to be
We
clear.
changed that, yes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna use the building for my own use.
So then the garage is on the bottom floor.
Garage on the bottom
They're
floor,
gonna be for your storage.
my own storage, yes.
Okay.
And then the use on the top is gonna be off my own business.
Anyway, it's gonna be retail, that use is gonna be after, when it's used as a storage.
but Jenny, that's not retail. That's not considered retail in the zoning. Retail is, you go to a store to buy, clothing or, items, goods for sale, where, if I'm correct, Mr. O'Hara wants to basically run a construction type of company.
Yeah.
So then, to me, that would be a commercial building,
Right.
not retail.
Okay, so we changed to commercial.
Okay, so the garages, plot plan, we need a plot plan, so we can see what the dimensions are for the side yard, back yard, front yard, everything like that, so that's imperative.
We have a problem.
Yeah, the architectural drawing,
I have to check.
Right,
Yeah.
now,
There's a top plan on the architecture.
right, but if you look at comment number 2, the engineer's site plan drawings have to meet all the requirements of 21A-13, which would include a site plan with all of the dimensions, all of the bulk. A architect's plot plan is not acceptable, this won't be stamped, this is good for
So
reference.
this is your plot plan, my site development plan is what
Yes.
to say is your plot plan.
Yeah, no, I know that I have to
Yes,
eliminate
planning
this.
board approves a site development plan that meets the requirements of 21A-13, which, again, Mr. Howard, I gave you that
Yeah.
section,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, we have it.
at PRC. And all of this stuff's also available through Eco 360 through the town website. You can get the whole code there as well.
Now, looking at the layout, and I was looking at this before, because of this parking, I know we meet the rear yard setback right now, but we don't meet the front yard setback. If we push it back 10 feet into the rear yard setback, I could find a way to rotate the parking so that we can provide the on-site parking, but then we need a variance in the back, but that might get rid of the variance in the front.
Right,
Is
those are
that
the
a,
things
is
you
that
have to
a, is that
weigh.
a, yeah, is that an issue with the board where if we do need another create another variance, a separate variance to move everything on site? Or,
That's gonna be up to you to prove why you need to do it that way.
okay,
You have to demonstrate why variances would be granted. The planning board doesn't grant the variances. They make recommendations.
but then, I guess what I'm saying is, would that be a positive recommendation? Because that'd be the way that we push things.
Again, without,
To
What you
make
gotta
it
do
work for
is
safety.
design it and bring it back and see where it goes from there.
That
Yeah.
goes, that goes to the side, side yard, because you're building a building right on the property lines, what it looks like. And like Jane said earlier, I don't know if you were here before that, but, for you to dig a foundation there, you're gonna be on the other people's property.
But my intention there was to do sheet piling along the property line. So I was gonna sheet pile along the property line and pour one side of wall up to the sheet piles. So I wouldn't be
right,
denying.
but you still have to put your construction fencing and stuff within like, you know, not, maybe like 2 feet. Silt fencing, all that stuff's gotta be installed. You can't,
Disturbance
the-
fence,
yeah,
silt fence,
Okay,
the
right.
drain.
Yeah, we wouldn't be disturbing the ground for that foundation, but obviously the site fence.
Right.
You can't go on someone else's property.
No,
How wide is the building?
50 feet,
How wide is the property?
50 feet.
50 feet.
So,
That was
you're right on,
yeah.
you're right on the property.
Yeah, that's why my intention was you sheet pile on both sides, so there would be no erosion to anybody next to it.
right, but you have to gain access to the other properties in order to do that, and the planning board can't grant that as of right. If that's something, then you're gonna have to have, as Bruce Peters explained, you're gonna have to have some type of legal arrangement in place in order for the board to even consider moving an application forward that requires you to access someone else's property to perform the work.
Well, sheet piles would be performed from my own property, and we would put them down, they're drove into the ground. We would not, we would leave piles high enough as a fence.
Your silt fencing, as Bruce Peter explained, will still need to be installed, and it can't be installed on the property line if you're putting the sheet piles on the property line. You're gonna have to have some space in order to do that.
What I think we're saying is basically when you install the sheet piles, you hammer it into the undisturbed ground. So basically
I understand how it works.
But anything beyond that wouldn't be really disturbed. You just have anything in front of that would be
Bruce
disturbed.
Peters, our town engineer, will not accept that.
Okay.
You're welcome to call and speak directly to him, he made it clear at PRC, because you cannot put silt fencing on another person's property.
Okay.
So if your silt fencing is there, you're gonna drive the sheet piles right down with the silt fencing, that's not acceptable. So you're gonna have to have provisions on outside of that. If that's not clear to you, definitely reach out to Bruce Peters.
Sorry, I with the center for finish and
I don't know, it's just saying.
Excuse me, can you speak a little louder so she can take record of it?
O sea, we could reduce the width of the building, replace to do 50 feet side to the property line. I assume the thickness fence is gonna be like a 6-inch in inside, so we could reduce 49 feet the building in order to have
Talking 6 inches on either side.
yeah,
I mean,
the metal.
what I suggest you to do is for you to figure out what you wanna do in respect to the size of the building. Once you figure that out, come to the building department, sit down with Jane, and she'll explain, yes, you can do it, and no, you can't do it,
Okay,
according to code.
all right.
We can sit here and discuss it, and it's 6 inches, maybe 8 inches, but we don't, you have to just show it,
Yeah, okay.
okay? Decide what you wanna do.
What width wouldn't need a variance?
Which would have, Andy, you have anything else?
Yeah, the side, 15 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the next.
Yeah, it's
Anything else?
basically can't build a building there.
Right.
I think it's 0 or 12.
Right.
That's my-
So, by that time, we can do that. We're talking, Denise,
So I'm so sorry.
We're talking
I'm so
to-
sorry.
two different things here. We have the zoning regulations, then we have actual buildable
Right, right.
process.
Mhm.
So Bruce is speaking to the actual physical ability to build a building like this without having to go onto someone else's property.
Mhm.
Then there's the zoning, which obviously, it's an odd-shaped lot, so that's up, you know, the zoning board will grant, you know, variances where they see fit that there's no other way to achieve what the applicant's trying to achieve,
Right.
and if it's a reasonable request.
So the sides, what's the sides gonna be finished? Is it gonna be vinyl siding? What
No,
kind
it was all CMU plaster walls, CMU.
of- Plaster walls,
Yes.
so if you're right on the property line, how you gonna plaster the walls, or are they already not? Is that prefabricated?
Yeah, it was actually split flip blocks I was gonna do on the property line, for the finished blocks, I wouldn't have to go into that. We would build them
So you're gonna build it from the inside?
inside, yeah.
We had,
No, but I understand.
about 20 years ago, we had something similar to this come in, and we made them move the building in 2.5 feet, so that they still can go on their property to maintain the outside of the building. So you have to
Yeah.
theoretically maintain the outside of your building. It's on the property line, you can't do it unless you go on the other person's property.
Just one question, that's what Lisa brought up, very nice questions about the zoning would say 0 or 12. But in this case, we have a problem about construction, and then if we do 6 or 1 foot inch, we have to go to 12, and basically this lot is very small. So what can be granted the planning board in order to do the silk fence, and in order to comply and not go to another property line, but don't extend to 12 feet
No,
any
We have
side.
to go over another,
No, you go for a variance on the side yard.
Both sides.
Yeah, the side yard, total side yard variances
Correct.
that you go for.
All right.
So it's gotta be, I would say, I think Bruce said, what did he say, 2 feet or so?
That's what we discussed, but
Yeah.
obviously, he holds
That's up to
comments
you.
until he sees a proposed design.
But that's, you know, it make the building 46 feet high. Yeah.
46 and 250, yeah,
And
okay.
then
And then
you'll
go for
still need a
variance. You 10
variance.
for variance on each side, or
Still
10 or-
need a variance, and you might, if you move it back, you might need a variance for the back too. But that'll eliminate the variance for the front, maybe. And help you correct your parking.
And it would, yeah.
Right.
Good.
But then we'd need the side yard set, so then it would, we basically would have to, no matter what, we're creating a side yard variance, of both sides, 2-1 combined and one side.
Your
And then the rear yard would be, if we need to push it back, then we need a rear yard, but that might get rid of the front
Well,
yard
we-
variance if we need to.
Yeah, when you go,
Okay.
if you get more eventually, you do go to the zoning board, you have to explain to them why you're doing it. A lot is a small lot, you need this, you move this to accommodate parking, so you have to give them a whole rationale as to why you're doing it. So we looked at all the comments from everybody, but you have to comply with it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't satisfy every comment, you can't actually go to the okay, and it was, yeah, and then get these people.
Lisa, anything else?
No.
Mike, anything else?
Notice that we already answered, we talked about the vehicle. Now, I wrote in, you couldn't figure out what the exact boundary lines of your project are. On the south side, you got the woods.
Yeah.
Are you into the woods?
No, just right on the edge.
The head of the edge, okay. And somebody, which, no, okay. Then on the other side, where all the vehicles are parked, looks like some of them are onto your property.
I don't know that, I'd have to get staked out before I would start.
Oh, okay, that's another thing you're gonna have to do, is get it staked
Yeah.
out.
We already got a survey, but I didn't get the guy to stake
Yeah,
out.
you gotta have it staked out, you gotta have,
That's
you gotta tell them,
So that's not your stuff,
No.
you're right.
it's a legal parking lot, but you gotta tell them to move all this stuff off your property. Kind of picture. Oh, yeah, they did, yeah. There's stuff on, you know, yeah, they're backed over onto your property, so get it staked out, it'll be, an easy way.
Yeah.
And when you do correct as to what the exact nature of the building is, correct it on every, it's gonna be a
Commercial building.
commercial.
Yes, yeah.
It's gonna be a storage and an office space, but correct it on everything, I mean,
Yeah,
the
there was a-
drawing,
Yeah,
Your
a few comments on
EAF.
that, yeah.
your application, everything's gotta be corrected so it all matches, if it doesn't match, there's a problem. Everything
just one question that, in the definition that you do in the number 9, you talk about the highway, public highway. This is a residential street.
It's public highway.
Public highway.
Oh,
Yeah.
the denominate
It's
public
not-
highway.
It's
when
either
it's
public
residential.
or private highway, either way, so it's not.
Right, it's just a
private, so
town
public.
road versus a state road, but it's still
Right.
public.
It's public.
Oh, all right.
It could be either town, county, or state,
If you cross the street, it's public, yeah.
public highway.
Oh, all right.
It's residential, you get municipal parking across the street from the,
Yeah.
Anything else, Mike?
no, that's all, thank you.
Mike?
Oh, you answered a bunch of questions, I know you got your work cut out for you, everything's gotta change up.
Yeah.
Just, looking at it, it's very confusing, even, getting to describe your project is kind of confusing. But, you got these huge garage doors, so I'm assuming that those are gonna be used for your
My own van.
vans going in and out. But at the same time, you have parking right in front of those doors, right?
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Okay,
you can see it's a bit confusing that how you have parking in front of doors you're gonna be using. Then you have rear doors in the back too that come up, right?
I want to marry one.
This shows two.
Yeah,
Going back, so it's confusing that you want to retail, then you have these huge garage doors that looks like you can go right through the building into the backyard. So just clear that up. And, we talked about the parking, it's a pretty busy road, I know you're down Planet Road, but there's a library, there's a school, it's a block and a half from, it's a city, the city town center, right? Also, a lot of people walking up and down that street, so that parking is a nightmare. Pull in, there's no curb, there's no sidewalks, so you just gotta clean that up. And speaking of cleaning up, that lot has been a mess for years. Now, just recently, there was a tractor trailer backed up and left a whole trail of scaffold in there, and that just sat there for years. You cleaned it up recently?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
good?
I'm in the middle of it.
Alright, in the back, you still got a little more cleanup to do, there's about 10 gas cans sitting out there.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're empty.
They're empty, yeah.
Alright, a bobcat, you got a pile of wood, so it's getting better. Glad you're looking to improve a lot, because that lot and the one next to it is a big eyesore on that lot. So I'm glad you're getting it, you got your work to do, but hopefully you're going in the right direction. Alright, thank you.
Thank you, Tilly.
So the overall height is 26, what is it to like the roof?
Sorry?
So you have it called down as 26 feet to the second story, and then
Yeah, with the
the
height.
roof?
One is just on top of the ridge.
Yeah.
If you don't know, that's fine, it's just, I think,
I think it's 29.
What'd you say?
Yeah, we got it in the site plan that is gonna eliminate the rule regulation, the height how we measurement.
okay,
And then just is the height of each floor.
of the finished floor.
Yeah.
We didn't have that on here, so we're right, the 240.5 is the finished floor elevation?
Yeah, he want the first floor very high in order to manipulate
The
whatever
base
he
or whatever,
has.
you want that to be a little bit, okay.
Yeah.
Right, the question still was, what is the
What is the ridge height if you go?
average, what is the maximum height of the building
overall
right now?
building.
The maximum height, let me remember the part is, the building height is, according to this, is 1 foot 4 inch from the property line. When it's more than 22 feet, and then you could go higher.
If you don't know
Then
at
we
the
have
time,
48
yeah, but
feet.
just something
Question
else
is-
to follow.
48 feet.
Yeah.
The building that you're proposing is 29, right?
Yes, and can be really 48, up to 48, that we propose just 29. Because it's 22 setback,
No, the roof, from the floor to the top of the building.
Yes.
Give me the drawing.
the drawing is here.
Yeah, I got on here too, 29. We can go up to 48, but we're doing 29.
I don't know how you can go up to 48 in that. That
That's-
doesn't seem to make sense. And then.
Because we are doing a 38 setback in order to manipulate some cars in the front if necessary. Originally, how it's 50 feet, we had a 20 feet cars on one side and 30 feet the rest in order to go in backward. We supposed to be gonna have an entrance, but between the conversation we had this was what was accepted here. But initially was 30 feet to go in backward in the side, and the front of the car were in this area,
The
which is 20 feet.
question the lady's asking is what height is the ridge? What is the top of the ridge line of the ridge?
Yeah, the car.
The height of the ridge?
Yeah, the car.
That's what it's got, yeah, okay.
We take that.
Yeah, I guess I'm, happy that you're improving the site, but I think it has a lot of work to do. I hope it's not a 40.
It's very hard
But
condition.
either,
Yeah, it's really hard to design in that lot because it has the 25 feet in the back, in the front, we try to do just 50 by 50 building, try to exceed that, it was 5,000, I think, the maximum what we could build.
okay.
And then it's 25, 2 stories, that's all. At least we could go as a floor, I don't know.
That's all from me. Thank you.
Kevin, anything?
Like everybody says, you got a lot of work to do. The only concern I have about this picture here is that you use this as like a drive-through and then start parking stuff in the back lot, and we wouldn't want to see that, right? So, I mean, it's gonna encroach on your neighbor 50, right? So, whether you reorientate the building, I don't know what you're gonna do, but, that's all I have. Thanks.
Thank you.
Well,
Kevin.
you see, you got your work cut out for you, okay? I think at this point, let's start with, have a
Motion for the public portion. Second.
all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Anybody from the public who wishes to speak on this project? Yes, sir, please step up and state your name and address for the record, please.
Yes. My name is Andy McCann. I own two properties that abut and adjoin Ed's lot to the north. I have a multiple family house at 42 Ridge, and I have a parking lot that's, I have a special permit on at 35 South William Street. So I own the two properties to the north of where his lot is. And I am here not to say anything negative. I'm actually in favor of the property. The area, I've owned these two properties for about 30 years, and the area has been basically neglected for quite a long period of time. I mean, I've owned them since 1993, and there's never been any development. There's never been any improvements throughout the area. So I'm pretty much in favor of what Ed wants to do, as long as, he follows the rules and follows the code. I do have a concern about the size of the building, though, that the members have been bringing up. I do have a, designated parking lot that, is right on the property line to where he wants to build a building, and I would definitely would like to request some kind of a buffer there, which has been mentioned already. That would be determined by, of course, by you people, but I just, I have people that park there, they commute to the city. I do have some small business people that park, some landscapers, and, to have a building right on the property line like that is just a possible problem that could occur for the building as well as for my, tenants that, park in the area. So I would like, that is a concern. That's like basically my only concern. There is one other minor thing, is that the area is the elevation of the property is very flat, so there really isn't any runoff for the water to run to. There is a storm drain out in the street, there's a couple of catch basins, but when it rains, like it's been doing lately, the water just sits and it puddles almost everywhere. So, because there is really no grade at all over like 100-foot area. So I just wanted to also mention that as well. But my biggest concern is the buffer area. I'm not really too, happy about having a building on the property line. If it could go back a couple of feet, that would be acceptable. I'm not asking for the world. I just, want to have a little bit of an area just for safety's sake, you know? And that's basically it.
Okay.
All right.
Just one comment this, sir. Several of your vehicles, whatever, are over the property line.
No, they're not over the property line,
As
sir.
per visual from above, they're
Oh, okay.
over the property line.
Yeah, well, there's an iron pin in each corner of
Well, then you better
my
run
property.
something down, and some of it is over the property line. We have the photos here.
Okay, so what are you saying, that the photos are,
Yeah, they
show where the
this-
pins are on the
No, it
property?
shows where it shows the property line itself.
Oh, okay.
With the items over the property line.
Right, and then how many items?
Everything else is right on the property line.
Right.
So that's up to you, we're just letting you
Yeah,
know.
I'll make sure that that's, I know where the pins are.
Okay,
The
so
previous owner that owned before Ed, he put some, these large pieces of timber out on the property as a, I guess as a designation for, to show where the line was, but you had those removed then, didn't you, pretty much?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
so we'll
since
make
you
sure
have
of
the
that.
pins, take a look from pin to pin, you're gonna find a couple of items that are.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of people that park there, so sometimes people, you know, lose their sort of sense of where they have to stop and where they start, you know, no problem.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
The applicant had said that he's gonna get the property surveyed and put stakes in the corners. So
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
know exactly where your property line is.
Yeah, Chairman, the pins are already there on South William Street. They're 10 feet off the street cut, so the pins, I know where the pins are, I have a metal detector, I found where they are. Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else in the public wish to speak on the project? Okay,
Motion to close public portion.
Move to close, second. All in favor? Any opposed? None, okay. You got your work cut out for you. As of right now, we can't go anywhere with the project. There's just two major missing things. The building is the wrong side, we're gonna have to adjust the building however you want to adjust it. There are parking concerns. Once you figure out where you want to put the building, how you want to put the building in, you're gonna have drainage concerns. Like Jonathan said, it's a pretty flat piece of property. So, you have your work cut out. Like I said, you have a copy of all the consultants' reports, the comments, so we're gonna go through them, satisfy them.
This one,
And,
that they just gave me this one.
once
I
you,
only had three before. Sorry.
once you get that all done, and you get a plan, then you come back. But a lot of work for you.
For both of us.
What was this?
Now, you have to, I can't do it, you have to ask for continuation, continuance. If you want one, you have two choices, you can continue or deny it, so you can continue.
Yeah, continue.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for everybody. Have a good night.
Good night.
Next is Caribbean Food License.
Yeah, this,
ED 23-43.
Tell someone that they can go to their countries to get the approval.
I got the body of like a 90-year-old man.
But it works, it does work. I don't know if the architectural guys are gonna say it would work, they are hard with that.
It makes sense.
Stephen Katie, K-A-D-I.
P-H-E-N or V?
With a V.
And the gentleman, I got the center.
Joseph Minor, oh, that's the card I gave you?
Yeah.
Michael Robart, Shoe Construction,
Could you spell your last name?
R-O-B-A-R-D-E,
A-R-D-E?
A-R-G-E.
D-E. Michael.
Yep.
And fellow
in the middle is Josephine.
Yes, sir. Language for the.
Well, I'm the lucky recipient of the You Get to Talk award because Don had some surgery.
Samoa today, I know.
Yeah, so, I think I'm gonna make it easy for you, because I believe we have met the comments in all the letters with this revision. I don't see in this packet that I got the, September 27th letter from Brooker, but that really was a reiteration of a couple of the items that he
Right,
needed
he
clarification.
sent, he sent a newer letter, so
Yeah.
we don't resend the letter from last time.
Okay, yeah, so that's not in this packet, but that, we did address those 4 comments in there, which were kind of reiterations and embellishments on his other comments.
Yeah, it's a new program.
October, I do not have a new Brooker October 1st.
It says October, it's in the package.
In fact,
Did I hand it to you before?
Is it where it's at the end or beginning?
right after, EDM.
Thank you.
Should be right after that.
Looks like the last one. In my package, the last one.
No?
August 21st, yes, that's what I was looking for. So he does have some more comments.
Okay. Hand that back to me, and then when I'm done, I'll give it to you.
Yep, okay, that's fine. So, okay, thank you. So overall, we've done, there was a lot of administrative work on the title block, the city map. This is the map that we were talking about last time, so I think we've all got the same plan we're looking at. So we've addressed the comment, all the Rockland, the Department of Environmental Management, the Rockland County Planning, and I think the only things that are outstanding then are me getting together with the engineer to run through, and I think some of this is just clarification. He's got a couple of questions about some additional drainage area maps on here.
Yeah, I'll go.
So he wants a couple clarifications on there. But I will open it up, if you guys have any concerns, you've had a chance to look at this in relation to the comments, because I sent a.
Let me go through the consultant's report. Project review has no additional comments. To James Slavin, October 6th. He has 4 comments.
I did not see that in here.
Excuse me?
I did not see that.
The small packet.
It should be right in the front page, second page in.
September 21st, okay.
Okay, October 6th, he has 4 comments. Department of Environmental Management and Engineering, Bruce Peters, October 6th. He has 13. And we have Booker Engineering, October 5th. His drainage review recommendations. The applicant has provided significant information to demonstrate that potential significant impacts with respect to drainage can be mitigated. We therefore recommend that the Caribbean Food Delight site plan be approved for drainage subject to the above project comments, of which there are 7. Okay? Satisfy him with that, and you're good to go.
Will comply.
I think everything else is good.
Yes.
Yes.
And with response to Ms. Sladen's comments, the loading dock calculation was a misread of the ordinance on my part. I can revise that if you'd accept it as a condition of any kind of approval you could give us tonight. What we're asking for is a conditional approval subject to cleaning up those comments so that we can move on with the next steps.
Yes, my comment actually supports that.
Yeah, I thought so, yeah.
You don't need a variance, but
Right,
it's
right.
just written incorrectly on the drawing.
Okay.
So that's not an issue at all.
Andy, questions or comments?
Yeah, on, Department of, Environmental Management and Engineering, number 4 with the rain garden, I looked at, looking at your plan here for the rain garden, where it narrows down in this one area here. He makes a comment about that. Is there any, have you thought about maybe widening that or something? It narrows down to,
So what is run all this for,
Well, the whole thing sheets this way. So it's basically, that's the whole flat area that consists of the 73 contour, that's basically the bottom of the basin. And then it goes down a little bit to like 72.8 or 9, depending on where you are. I think there's a one thing. But there's a little roll of a 1 foot berm with a 6 inch, or 4 inch, I'm not sure which is the detail there, with a little dip for the main heavy flows beyond the water quality to go. And the rest of it is just gonna be that 6 inches or less of water that's gonna collect there and infiltrate in the ground based on our review of soil characteristics. And I also have advised Caribbean Foods that when they install it, I want infiltration tests done to make sure that my assumptions are correct. Otherwise, we will adjust it as necessary. But I understand the concern. The concern then, it looks like, is that the narrowing there,
It's only 1 foot across.
what's the, sorry,
Number 4.
where for? Oh, how the depression will drain after the event. Yeah, and that's, I mean, that's gonna drain because that all kind of flows down to that low point. That's where the 0.6 was. So all of this area over here, we left this open so we could get access with a truck through there. So this is gonna collect here. It's gonna kind of fill out here. So the water's gonna seek its own level. Let me look at that and see if I can widen that out.
Yeah,
It really should be.
Yeah, yeah.
You just satisfy this?
Yeah. I'll work with him. There's nothing on there that is not achievable.
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that.
I have to manage expectations of CFD, and I know we've got emergency access around the other side there. I doubt very seriously any good firefighter would go behind that building to attack a fire, because they risk getting stuck back there, so, you know, they're gonna attack from the main road there.
Who's just open to a fire?
They don't have a fire.
Don't have a fire.
That's all officers.
Well, they're building the next part.
Nothing leaks anything?
No, I think you just the comment.
On the EM's comment number 3, have you done the perk test yet?
No, like I said, we did the design based on the soils characteristics in the soils reports that are out there. And like I said, I've got them doing a test before construction.
Well, no, you can't do any construction until the perk test is done.
You won't get sign off.
Yeah, okay, then let's get that done right away. I'll get that as part of it.
And it has to be done right away, and it's gotta, you have to notify Peters that you're gonna be doing it, because they usually have somebody there. Because if the perk test doesn't work, your plans don't work.
Well, this is not a perk test. A perk test is for sewage. This is an
No,
infiltration test.
no. Read number 3,
Department of Environmental
DEME.
Engineering? Number 3.
not the sewage.
This is from the September 22nd letter?
No.
No,
October
it's
6th.
October 6th.
Gotcha. Will do.
Because if it's not done, nothing goes.
I was surprised I hadn't seen that prior, but there was nothing on there for a rain garden.
Again, they were all sent.
Yeah.
To
The
Don,
contact person,
yeah.
it was Don. No one contacted this office to
Yeah, no,
tell us.
that's internal
that he
problem.
was not
So I appreciate you
coming.
working with me on that. I apologize.
This is kind of a generic paragraph that he puts in on every application, so.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. So we'll have that done before we finalize this, and as a part of solving Brooker's and the ongoing pieces that are in there.
She gave them red.
Please, thank you.
Okay,
I'm sure I'll get it after Don takes up some
If
medication.
it's not done by the end of the fall, you'll have to wait till spring.
Well, it's gonna be done next week.
What I think would be best, number one, is if you can send an email first thing in the morning to my attention. I will make sure that everything is sent to you.
Thank you.
Can we change the contact person on
Yes, you can
Thank
put that in the email that you're asking the contact person to do.
And then you're gonna have to give her a extra one.
you know, set that up.
With Brooker Engineering?
No, no.
Oh, for someone for observing, yep.
Yeah, because if it doesn't, you don't meet the standards on it, then everything is gone, and the plans have to be all revised, which has happened already.
Got it.
Okay, and, let's see if anything else. No, okay. Okay. You submit the application to Rock County Drainage Agency yet?
That's,
Rock County Drainage?
not that I'm aware of now. Yeah, this is drainage agency have the old letter from it.
It's still the old letter.
It's still, they didn't, when you ask for continuation to submit a single drawing like that, we don't circulate to all the outside agencies because they require 30 days.
It is number
But
one.
it still is a condition of your approval.
So all those prior letters are all conditions, and it's number one. It's within the jurisdiction of the Rockland County Drainage Agency, stream control act from is required for the current proposal. And she's gonna get in touch with the event and immediately get that done,
Will do.
okay? And that's the letter dated, August 14, 2023 from Drainage Agency. Okay, nothing further this time, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
No, all right, thanks, well, you got your drainage, which is a good start, but it seems like you still have some outstanding issues with the drainage. You know, even the appropriate engineer that gave you approved the drainage, but if you look at their comments, they still have concerns about problems with it. Same thing with Bruce Peters. He's even saying you gotta redesign the rain garden. Comment number 6, the plan shall be revised, so that there still might be a revision to this, but it's, no, they're concerned about this narrowing here. I think you were saying because of access road around, is that one?
Yeah, we were looking at allowing access for, like, a pickup truck to drive around there for the property. But I'll talk with them about how they access around there.
Yeah, get the drain, get this all squared away. And
The other option is to cut down trees, and I really don't wanna cut down trees.
No, we don't like that.
Yeah,
So, yeah, that's it, you should, I think some thought about maybe a revision of plans is gonna happen too. So,
yeah, oh yeah, yes, absolutely,
all right.
absolutely, yeah. I don't, this is gonna be the conditional plan that we go from based on all the rest of these changes here, so, yeah, absolutely.
All right, that's it for me. Denise?
I know, comment.
Kevin?
No comments.
You may wanna get in touch with Mr. Peters, so
Absolutely.
some of these things.
Well, I'm gonna be taking more of a role in talking, Don was taking a lot of the role there, but he was missing some of the technical pieces along the way, so all of this is entirely familiar with me. I'll just ask a little patience with me getting used to the agencies. There's a lot more moving parts in New York, especially in this area, which I appreciate and I understand, but thank you for your
Every
patience
little
with me.
town and parts of the country have different.
I've worked from Florida and the Virgin Islands and Haiti and St. Lucia all the way up to Connecticut and Maine, so everyone is different. Most of the time I'll go in and say, hi, I'm Joe Minor, can you tell me what I'm supposed to do? And so, I really appreciate all the patience you have here with me.
Most of the stuff that Mr. Peters gives you comes right out of the, DEC.
Yes.
And he has to comply with their regulations, otherwise, you could always go to the state, take you a year, try to get it changed.
I'm just glad we don't have to go to the state for any of this stuff, because it's a small enough magnitude, so. I thought that all along, I just didn't know how to say it in Orangetown language, or New York language.
Just discuss it with him and get that email over there. Just leave it in the morning.
All right.
Yes, they have to go back and forth.
Can they ask for a vote override on that, or?
That's be up to you, but it's pretty
All right, so
visible
that's-
addition on a main
Yeah.
road. And if the board chooses to give them preliminary, then they can go to Akron, and then they can address all these other issues and
Okay.
just return to a final.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
And it's my understanding that we've submitted everything except for physical samples right now.
Yeah, for Akron sample.
Motion open to the public?
Oh,
Second.
All in favor?
Okay.
Aye. Opposed, none?
Written the same name, huh?
Somebody go sit back. Motion to close the public.
Motion to close public portion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Do we have, the agency?
No.
Okay.
Motion from, lead agent?
Motion for lead agency.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none? Motion for neg deck?
Motion for neg deck.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Go preliminary?
Yeah, motion for preliminary with conditions.
Okay, who's making the motion?
Mandel. Unless you.
No.
You can't go to Akron.
Yeah.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Andy, all in favor? Any opposed? None.
Thank you very much.
We got preliminary, gotta get that before, straight these things out, come back to,
It's great, great process. You just got little pieces.
Yep, no, understood. Yep, and now that I know those pieces, I've been trying to get some of these pieces since earlier in the year, but as we changed things along the way and adjusted things, I think we, in the end, we basically went in too late, not enough, and so.
A question, this is just, go back to that area of the rain garden, the area where it's very narrow. Would it pay to put like some type of culvert there?
Well, here's why it's narrow. This is the 73 contour, and we had dropped that down. That's just the grass that's narrow. It's the grass over here. It still flows up to this area here, but it's just the grasses that are narrow. So I think what I'm going to wind up doing is just getting rid of that thin strip of grasses, and this will be lawn grass that will allow them access. But the water still can collect in that area, and it'll transit. And we're talking that much water. So, and
Because you were concerned with the width there, I figured some type of culvert that could go over.
Right.
But if you're talking that much, there's no room.
well, yeah, and I realize just as you said, I'm like, it's not the width of the rain garden is different, it's the width of the plantings in the bottom that are different.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be better and less confusing for everybody if I just separate it and have that be a little, just normal lawn area, and it'll be easier for maintenance, so you'll be able to get back there and make your turns.
Perfect. All right. Good luck.
Thank you. And I actually do hope I can go back there now that I understand it. It's really kind of difficult in some of the Pennsylvania.
No, I have another one already.
I just don't stand it because I live
planning another one. Have to keep growing.
They're different, yeah, oh yeah.
So everywhere you go, it's a little different.
Yep.
Who wants more, who wants less?
The best way to deal with that is be nice and friendly and ask people questions, you know? Not everybody knows everything.
No, keep on going.
Thank you, Dan.
Almost like a,
I live in Ringwood. I'm in Ringwood, New Jersey. I'm surrounded by trees. Oh, you like the trees?
you knock the buildings down, it's too bad. How many trees gotta stay?
I still got principal.
Oh, yeah?
I fought with them, I was a planning board when they brought them in, I fought, I said, I don't belong here.
It looks good. Nice.
Yeah, where did he go?
One of the, there was an accident in front of our building Sunday night. And the investigator for the police department was there, looking at our cameras today. He said about how the trees help light the area up, so we could see what happened out in front of us. Have a good evening.
Hey, have a good one. Thank you very much. Let's do, so we can go home. We got other business.
Yes.
You do?
I was just told we got other business.
Was this adopted last night?
It was.
So we don't have to bother with this?
So moved.
Hey, you guys have to say something.
The other one is the LLC, the Hudson Valley iCampus,
Correct.
401 North Middletown Road.
Mhm.
That's where they want to add in a hotel, or convert one of the buildings to a hotel.
And work, exercise, standalone facility.
Right, with pool and all.
Can I ask a question?
This is lead agency, again,
They want to change the whole code or just to their special property?
for that property.
That's probably, this parcel is 150 acres or more, so when it refers to that property.
We want to make town board lead agency, that's what we're.
Yeah.
Yes, no, so,
Not make,
yeah,
just
I mean,
acknowledge that
acknowledge
we're
it.
going it.
Mike, I'm sorry, no, it's, yeah, so the, public hearing, they set the public hearing for November 14th on proposed zone text amendment for the LI District Hotel and Standalone Fitness, Pearl River iCampus. That's how they wrote it up. So, the way the description is, to permit a hotel and standalone fitness center in the LA zoning districts on lots having 150 acres or more. Which I think there's 4 lots at that down there, 4 or 5, so.
Right, the hotel's gonna be used, it's open to the public, but it's mainly gonna be used for people that are coming in for conferences and whatever else, for the properties there. So, that's the rationale behind it.
I
Right,
don't
again,
like
this
the
is for-
IBM conference center, that hotel.
This is for lead agency, obviously, if it passes, they'll have to make application and come through the boards, just like every other project.
And so the, motion would be to,
Town Board of DH.
let the town board be the lead agent. That's it.
Okay?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all in
Okay,
favor?
wait, who made the motion?
Mr.
Kevin.
Perrin.
Kevin, okay.
And then Mandel second.
Yep. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? None.
Motion to adjourn meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.